Good morning, beloved community. Peace to you all. The notion of holy family took me down a holy path, a messy path, kind of reflective of this entire year, I would say. In my brain, it sounded something like this. All families are holy and complicated. We have biological families and chosen families. We often turn to families for love and support, and yet families can also be the source of some of our deepest wounds and lifelong growing edges. Some families have been held up by political and religious interests as ideal and worthy of protection, while other families have been targeted and deliberately ripped apart as a tool of oppression. Some of us connect mainly with our nuclear families, while others have a more expansive sense of family, and still others consider all creation to be relations. So, who is my family? How does my white Northern European ancestry impact who is part of my family? Who is your family? My family of origin has been a place of consistent love and care in my life. That brings me great joy and deep gratitude. Many of you know that my dad was diagnosed with advanced cancer in early February. We've been praying for him. COVID came on the scene soon after, and things became even more complicated. Not being able to visit when he was hospitalized, having to stay socially distant when celebrating my parents' 60th wedding anniversary, and not being able to hug frequently and freely. We are a family with a range of political opinions, and this played out in many ways during this election year, including no mask attitudes and behaviors. It became messy. I know that I'm not alone in experiencing holy and messy as two sides of the same reality. Clearly holy, angels, stars, and all babies, of course. Messy, the groans of a mother giving birth, blood, sweat, and baby poop. Holy, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Messy, cows, sheep, and donkeys in the birthing space. Holy, Christmas Eve Zoom liturgy at Spirit. In a blizzard, we were together. Holy was hearing young people reading so beautifully, seeing everybody's faces, singing together though apart, lighting candles in homes. Messy and painful, social distancing, living with cancer, the weariness of caregiving, people living in tents during blizzards, people with Black and brown skin dying disproportionately from COVID. The list goes on. Holy and messy. And yet I wonder if our limited understanding of what family is and is not is a root cause of so much injustice. Think of all the families, all the communities being ripped apart by poverty, violence, and other systemic injustices, now and historically. Here's a common story from the immigrant community. Tulio Portillo came from Honduras to flee gang violence in his home country. He's married, has an 18-month-old son, and lives in North Branch, Minnesota. Tulio, the family breadwinner, has been working as a server at a restaurant for the past 10 years. He was picked up for a DUI in August. As a US citizen, if I had had too much to drink and was pulled over driving, I'd get taken to jail, would probably stay overnight to sober up, and then a friend or somebody in my family would bail me out for a couple $100. For an undocumented person like Tulio, he's been fighting for his life in COVID-infested Candy, Ojai County Jail, in ICE custody, while his family struggles to figure out how to survive without his income. He was facing deportation, but is one of the lucky few who has gotten legal help to file for asylum. His deportation order has been canceled for now, though he's still detained. There are so many ways that family separation has been used as a tool to prop up unjust systems now and historically. What comes to mind for you? Bring those stories back, keep them in your mind, And that's one of the things you might want to share in the small groups in just a few minutes. I wasn't familiar with Valarie Kaur, the writer of our second reading, until now. So thank you, reading selectors. I was curious and wondered about her story. I watched her TED Talk to learn more, and I credit her with many of the ideas that I'm sharing today. Mary Loris will send the link in the weekly email. Valarie Kaur is a civil rights activist, award-winning filmmaker, lawyer, Sikh, some people say Sikh, it's spelled S-I-K-H, Sikh faith leader, and a mother. I learned that a family friend she called Uncle, Balbir Singh Sodhi, was the first person killed in a hate crime following 9/11. Her uncle looked like many of the men in her community. And he also looked like the pictures of the people flying the planes that went into the World Trade Towers. Through her processing of grief, rage, and fear, she came to found the Revolutionary Love Project. She invites us to embrace a broader understanding of family. In order to love others, we must see no stranger. She means see others as part of yourself and part of your family. You are simply a part of me I do not yet know. Isn't that lovely? With this approach, we choose to wonder about the other and listen to their story. In order for us to love our opponents, we must tend the wound. See the wound in the ones who hurt you. Wonder about them. Kaur says, if this idea sends panic through your own body, you need to wonder, listen, and respond to your own needs. That's speaking to you. In order to love ourselves, we must breathe and push. Push into the fires in our body. Breathe and push. March, dance, hike, give birth, sing, pray. Do these things alone and together. Love is sweet labor, fierce, bloody, imperfect, life-giving, says Kaur. A choice we make over and over again. Holy and messy, with no shortage of discomfort individually and collectively. So what do we do with all this pain and injustice? Well, in the spirit of Emmanuel, the Holy One incarnate, with us in flesh and bone, what better time than now to listen to our bodies, our whole selves? I invite you to try this with me right now. Quiet your listening mind, your thinking mind. Take a moment to connect to your body. Breathe. Scan your body and place one hand on your body in the place where you feel the heavy of this moment. Breathe, tune in, scan your body, embrace the wisdom. Where is one place in your body where you feel the joy amidst the heavy? This is part of our sweet labor, and it takes time, practice, and nurturing. This has been a season of swirling joy, grief, and rage for me and for many of us humans around the globe. For me, this plays out in my body, aches that move around, wacky sleep patterns, lower energy, more anxiety, less creativity. I go from mad to sad in a heartbeat, mad at COVID and cancer and political bullies and my whiteness. I am trying to be in it. I am breathing and stretching and learning. Another clear example for me of the holy and the messy. We must love ourselves so that we can love others. This is a feminist intervention, Kaur says, because for too long, women have been told to suppress their rage and grief in the name of love and forgiveness. Grace Lee Boggs said, to transform the world, transform yourself. I have much to learn, and I am convinced that this learning is central to my own healing, to our collective healing, and to sustaining our long-term commitment to liberation. But I get impatient and I want to fix it. More holiness and messiness for me to reckon with. So here we are, Holy Family Sunday. What would it mean to expand our notion of Holy Family Sunday? What if we called this Beloved Community Sunday instead? And what if we truly believed it? In the spirit of our first reading, I offer you a blessing. May you honor the wisdom of your body. May you cherish the gift of your emotions. May you breathe deeply the spirit within you. May you embrace the grit and the grind, the grand and the glorious, the holy and the messy, as we work to build a world of peace with justice. May it be so. So now, as always, I will stop talking and we will stop talking. We will start talking in our small groups if you wish. Otherwise, you stay in your little space and you can think quietly or talk with those that you're watching with. So the questions are, what stories of family separation came to mind during the homily? What came to mind when I was telling about Tullio and his family? What other stories come to mind? What is the sweet and fierce labor you are called to in this moment? And who have you not yet tried to love?